'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through Mushroom Kingdom all were jolly and joyous, awaiting the holiday to come. But hey up hey in the hills in a little shack lived a Mr. Potato Head, who was gloomy and black. Mr. Potato Head hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season, but no one knew exactly what could be the reason. It could be perhaps his facial features kept falling off. It could be perhaps that his wife had run off. But I think the most reasonable thing of all was that he thought that Toy Story fans were stolen by My Little Pony dolls. But whatever the reason, the pony, his facial parts, or his wife, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating everyone for life. "I despise that Christmas mess," yes, he said with conviction. "I can't abide off that cheeriness. It's an awful addiction, with their singing and laughing, their feasting and hooting. Why should one be carousing when one could be brooding?" Then suddenly a scheme slipped into his head. Why should he be the one miserable when they could be miserable instead? He would stop Christmas this year, so they'd know of his pain. He'd spread sadness and misery. He was a tad bit insane. So off he went into Peach's castle as quick as a flash. He'd stop up all this Christmas. He'd settle their hash. First up was Woody, Jessie, and Buzz, who he thought he knew, who he couldn't take. He stole their special powers and gave them a snake. Next up was Bullseye. Hey, who he knew who was real bad. He stole his horseshoes and put on his saddle a face that's sad. Next up was Sonic, who he thought who wouldn't let him pass. He stole all his rings and filled his sneakers with glass. Next up was Rex, who was nervous all the time. He stole his tail, and tied his mouth up with twine. Poor Knuckles was sleepy. And when Potato Head arrived, the Master Emerald had been lifted. Head, that was quite a crime. Peach and the Toads were dreaming sweet dreams of great glory, when Peach's crown was thieved by something brown, black, and blurry. Next was Tail Heck, and he didn't care for he tossed his gifts in a sack and wrecked tornadoes 1, 2, and 3. Slinky Dog was asleep on the bed when suddenly the Spud stole his collar and gave him one that was red. The aliens were sleepy. And when Potato Head arrived, he stole their claw, the Crane Game's claw. And away with it he would drive. The Mario brother Hers were asleep when the spud passed. He stole all their coins and filled their boots with glass. Bo Peep was asleep with her sheep by her side. Haid, when her hat and staff were thieved. Heaved by a potato without pride. Mickey Mouse was dreaming sweet dreams of great glory when his magic paintbrush was thieved by something brown, black, and blurry. That crazy broad Amy awoke just in time to see a potato pee on her sonic love shine. Yoshi, he was dreaming sweet dreams without care. Potato Head stole his eggs. But Yoshi never knew he was there. The last place he went to belonged to Vanilla, a fine little rabbit in a cozy little villa. But here's where the part where the little sleaze, where our potato head thief met Cream and Chow Cheese. The bunny he named Cream, who was 6 and no more, awoke from a dream to see Potato Head at the door. She walked slowly up and approached the swift thief. She had tears in her eyes, which filled Potato Head with grief. "Why, oh why, Mr. Potato Head, are you here in our house? You've broken the window and torn Mommy's blouse." He looked at the tot, but he felt very vile. His temper was mean, but her sadness was real. He knew all about what Cream had said, and in no time at all he saw Mrs. Potato Head. He looked at his wife, and she looked at him. And she had to tell him something really slim. "I beg of you, sweetheart," she said once again. "Christmas is kindness, not bringing other people's pain." "But I have been wronged," hunged Mr. Potato Head retarded. "For revenge I have longed, and I'm just getting started." "You've missed the point." Hain't, Mrs. Potato Head said softly. "There's more to this holiday than tinsel and holly. There's a lot of things that make people jolly. Even if it's a lot of festive folly. A lot of people can get quite a tension, and it even happens when shopping is mentioned. But when we really take the time to know better than that, we can always feel happy, and not like a brat. No toy gets replaced, Woody always says. But everybody's happy when new toys come in, he says. So swipe up that frown and give me a smile. Don't you want to be happy if just for a while? Mr. Potato Head had been wronged. He had now seen the light. He must fix up everything. He must set everything right. So off he went to return all the loot. He fixed everything he broke, and as fast as he could scoot. Sure, Cream would need therapy. Amy's rugs stink of pee. But as the morning mist cleared, Christmas came filled with glee. Even Mr. Potato Head was there. Here, here, he had come all the way from his shack. Now with Mrs. Potato Head by his side, he felt a little less black. Heck, everyone was happy that Christmas had come. It was a great time here in the Mushroom Kingdom. And the moral of our story is, when you're feeling feeling sad, how would you understand the good from the bad?